one and all. Welcome to Audio Alchemy with Chris Smith. Friends, patrons, lend me your ears as I have some fantastic players entering the stage where they have entered the Alchemist lab to divulge their secrets. They helped divulge the secrets of their voices from dusk and dreams. I have three players, one of wit and character, another of star and shine, another of intellect and cunningness. They are the fantastic actors who have done so many things that have permeated this podcast, but other things, including everything of Gabriel Urbana, and also wouldn't because of such things. I give you Emma Sherr Ziarko, Felix Trench, and Beth Eyre. Lovely to have you.
Thank you so much.
Lovely to have all three of you. Sorry for my very, very bad attempt to try and act Shakespearean.
That was beautiful.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I want everyone to introduce me that way now. You've really set the bar high.
No. Well, we should point this out, the whole thing. Whilst you three are of many talents, one thing that all three of you unite, and the reason why this podcast is all the case, is that you three are stars of your own hit podcast, Pod's the Thing, a show literally divulging and dissecting the works of William Shakespeare. So I guess the first question is, why bring out this love to inspect the bard?
It's a great question. Should I go, Felix? Do you wanna go, or?
Sure, I can.
Yeah. You start us off.
Thank you for using the word stars. We do insist on that.
Yeah. It's in our riders. Yeah.
Every time I go to the shops, I'm like, I'm the star of this transaction. I think you'll find. Why Shakespeare? I think. I don't know. Why not Shakespeare? It seems it's pretty common that actors like Shakespeare, and all of us come from. I mean, we're all kind of like cross-media actors, so we all just have Shakespeare in our backgrounds by default. And it was Emma who first articulated the itch that she hadn't been working an awful lot with Shakespeare's text, and we had a chat about it, and there didn't seem to be much going on in this space, so we were like, hey, let's give it a go.
Was that the case, Emma? You were just like, you know what, I just need to make this a proper podcast. I want to go into each bit.
Yeah, so it took quite a while for the show to take shape in the way that it has. I came up with the idea that I wanted to do some kind of Shakespeare podcast. I was looking back through old emails recently, like a little over 4 years ago. It's been quite a while, but it took me a while to figure out what shape exactly I wanted it to take. Like, were we going to just do productions? Did we want to do conversations? What exactly did we want to do? And then it was really talking with Felix about it that Felix really came up with the idea for this kind of structure for the show, which for those of you, for your listeners, is basically every episode we take one scene from Shakespeare and we break it down. And so we go through it as you would in a table read setting when you're first getting a script as an actor. And so the point of it is not to like give the most perfect, brilliant, beautiful, finished performance ever. It's to figure out what's going on and to explore some possibilities and figure out what we're saying and the historical context. And so it's been really, really fun and enlightening, and in a way that I didn't even anticipate. I think we'd all agree that we've all learned so much just by doing this show. So it's been a real delight. Absolutely.
No, I mean, I've listened to it. I'm so glad it's been real fun hearing you all, like not just, I mean, I've heard you all act, but the fact like acting Shakespeare, love me. Beth, how did you yourself get involved in this? Were you asked, or was it just like, oh, they're doing a podcast, I want to do this?
Yeah, I think I was asked. I mean, it was very much Emma's idea, and Emma and Felix came up with this format, and I was, I think, asked to kind of just turn up, and because I love them both, why wouldn't I?
I mean, we more demanded than asked, I think.
Did you demand?
Yeah.
This is
And
what you're doing.
An actor of your caliber must be on this podcast. We insist upon it.
And, I was only too thrilled because I have Shakespeare in my background. I studied English at uni, and then I did a master's in Shakespeare before I trained. And I think one of the so lovely things about the podcast so far has been Emma and Felix have brought in guests from all walks of life, but a lot of people who we know from audio, from the podcast scene. And as it turns out, they're all very passionate and knowledgeable about Shakespeare. And it's been so inspiring to discover that we all sort of have that in common, and it might not necessarily come to the surface all the time, but it's definitely there.
Absolutely. There is one of the things that really struck me after our first guest. I think that was the Jordan episode, Jordan Cobb.
I think Jordan was our first guest. Yeah.
We did Richard III, and the thing that hadn't clicked for me until that moment was that the desire Emma and I had to just work through some Shakespeare for fun is, I mean, obviously it is shared by other people, but I guess it had just never come up. It's not like barroom chat, right? You don't get to the London Podcast Festival, meet another podcaster and go, so how often do you just read Shakespeare yourself?
I do. That's how I introduce
you
myself.
do, of course. Sorry, my mistake.
I suppose there's a kind of a caliber. I mean, with all of you are theatre kids. You all have done theatre in the past. And Emma, yourself, you literally started Shakespeare at age 9. But is there sort of a tendency, especially as actors, each one of you, where it's just like the notion of you have to have done Shakespeare at least once to sort of like call yourself an actor?
I don't know about you have to call yourself an actor. I would say it's more that in the English-speaking world, you are very likely to have. I can't speak so much for the US, but certainly in the UK, a lot of if you went through a training route, then that will have been very theatre-y, and you kind of start with Shakespeare. That is the basis on which a lot of the training happens. So it's a language that many actors in the Anglosphere have in common, and it's something that, what is, Beth, you always quote Judi Dench, is it The Man Who Pays the Rent? Something like that?
Oh yeah, The Man Who Pays the Rent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little like Panto, that Shakespeare is always in demand, right? And there's, all across the world, it's extraordinary, someone will be putting on an outdoor Shakespeare in the summer, and there will be hundreds and hundreds of Midsummers and Much Ado's and As You Like It, wherever you look. It's something that, for whatever reason, continues to unite us, and that we get excited about 400 years later, maybe because it was the beginning of the early modern, maybe because that is the moment that we go, not the past becomes the present, but the people that we are not like become the people that we are like. Could be something like something in that.
Yeah. No, I love that. I mean, because one thing in the English speaking world that we all have, Beth, including yourself, is that we study Shakespeare a lot, including, I mean, Beth, you literally not only study, you went full into going to masters. So I think one thing I want to ask all of you first is, like, what was the Shakespeare play you had to start off learning? And then, Beth, what made this continue?
So coming up through school, I think there are a few. I always remember reading Hamlet when I was really young, and I think in a way I have never got over it, and I've been sort of restudying Hamlet over and over again ever since then. I guess after my BA, I'd sort of already read all of Shakespeare, so in some ways doing the masters sort of felt like an easy win, but also I just wanted to. I just wanted to go more in depth. It felt like there wasn't time in like a term to sort of do justice to something that's such a big part of drama and such a big part of literature, and having a year to do it just felt like the most fun ever, really. And I still feel I've very much scratched the surface. I mean, a master's degree is 1 year. It was great. We went to the Globe, we went to the libraries, but you're really just getting going. But to be able to continue with that as an actor is pretty incredible.
Felix, Emma, what were your first plays that you were taught at school about Shakespeare?
Go for it, Emma.
I think he was asking you.
I ask either of you. Let's start with Felix then. Felix, what was your
Go for it,
first
Emma.
play?
You answer for me. I'll answer for you.
Okay. I think the first. Actually, we were just talking about this, so I think one of Felix's first plays was "As You Like It," right?
Oh, yeah. So
yes,
this is so teenage Felix, definitely in English class. The comedies we did together were "As You Like It" and "Much Ado," and in my head, those two have always gone together as a pair that are as popular and as performed as each other. And I think this isn't helped by the fact that, so I grew up in Brussels, and there was one of those open air Shakespeare things that I was talking about. And I remember there being an open air As You Like It. And so in my head, As You Like It is like, it's one of the top three. It's like Hamlet, As You Like It, Hamlet again.
I ruined you with that. Just because in school for a school festival, one of the places we did was As You Like It. I performed in London for that, so it is just that holds a special place in my heart.
Who were you?
I love As You Like It.
Oh, good lord! I was terrible as an actor. I was one of the background people.
Okay.
There's no small parts. Yeah.
Yes, only large actors. No, I wish I was that talented. So then, Emma, what was your first one?
So, so as you mentioned, I started performing Shakespeare when I was quite young. I was 9 when I went to Shakespeare camp. I was the youngest kid at Shakespeare camp, but my mom was like, I need to do something with this. So, I played the nurse in Romeo and Juliet. So, I think Midsummer was the first production I ever saw. But Romeo and Juliet was the first one I was in and fully read and experienced. And I still have a great love for Romeo and Juliet. It's pretty good. But it was very funny. It was very funny that I played the nurse as a 9-year-old, which is delightful in retrospect. But I think the first play like that I studied in school similarly, I think was Hamlet. I think we were talking about this on the Hamlet episode with Gabrielle Urbina that it's kind of the one, right? That if you study one Shakespeare play, it's probably going to be Hamlet. But I also read Othello in school, and I love Othello. Othello is one of my favorite Shakespeare plays. Again, I don't like picking favorites, but Othello is up there for me for sure. So.
Don't worry, we'll get to that later when I ask you.
Okay.
This is a lot of Shakespeare is going to go, but we should all point out that you are all voice actors of stage, screen, TV, and things. I mean, we all know you from some things. I mean, Gabrielle Urbina has a special place in your heart because you're the work that you have done, especially with Wolf 359. Their friend Felix, I of course knew you from William Overcoats, when the father interviewed Tom a few weeks ago, and he had nothing but praise for you two. What would you say, like, when doing voice acting? What's the difference between performing on stage to then performing essentially in your room to nobody?
Yeah.
I think there's two big things, right?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Which Emma can then completely disagree with me about.
I will, most likely.
I'll go in order. I'll go Felix, Emma, Beth. I want each of these answers.
Brilliant.
Perfect.
I think there are the practical considerations, which is that, especially now, we seem to do an awful lot remote. So I've got my little home studio that I'm in here, which is a space 2 meter by 1, and this is where I do everything. And because of this, we're not in with other people. So much of the acting process, as I know it, is about the ensemble, is about the people that you are with, not your own personal performance as an actor. So you kind of have to get your head around that. You've got this weird obstacle that there's no one else there sometimes. Then, on the other hand, from the performance perspective, I am strongly of the opinion that acting is acting is acting is acting. The only thing that changes is the obstacle. Mm-hmm. So in microphone work, the thing that is in the way of you in the audience is a microphone. In screen work, it is a large crew of people who have lots and lots of other jobs, and you want to make sure that you're not in their way, while, not costing the production lots and lots of money. And then on stage, the fact that you might be in a 2,000-seater and some people are very far away, and so you need to create a performance sustainably over a long period of time that includes everyone in the audience whilst still on some level feeling intimate. But those are practical technicals that you learn to play with, that you learn to adapt your body to. On the basics, there is your text analysis and there is your connection to the other actor, and that is the same throughout.
Emma, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, I disagree with everything Felix just said. No. It's very, very much the same. But yes, and I would just add that I think the three of us actually had a somewhat unique experience when we entered into the world of voice acting, because we did that through audio drama, and specifically shows that recorded in studio together with the full cast. So, or as much of the cast as we could. I know you did that for Overcoats, and we did that for Wolf too, and that's not how most voice acting works. As Felix said, most of it is either maybe you'll go into a studio and maybe there'll be a director there. Some animation stuff will have other actors there, but like video games, you're almost always on your own. Hopefully you have a director that you're working with, but maybe not. And I was just talking about this yesterday because I also coach and teach, and I coach a lot of new actors who are getting into acting through voice acting, who don't necessarily have a theater background or film background, and often they're very intimidated if they have a live recording with other actors. And so I had a student yesterday who was like, I'm really nervous about it, and I'm like, well, I understand that, but actually it's so much easier. It's so much easier when you have somebody else to work off of instead of creating this other person in your mind. You have to do so much work as a voice actor to create everything in your mind and bring that out through your voice. A lot of people think like, oh, voice acting, that sounds like a cushy gig. And like, yeah, there's things about it that are nice. I don't have to leave my house to do it. And that's great. But I think the challenge of it is really quite steep, and people don't talk about that as much. So yeah, it's a gift. And I think that's something that also that was another impetus for making this show, is that because a lot of us work in the voice acting space primarily at this point, it can be very isolating, and so to be able to create a scenario for ourselves to work with other actors is a real treat. Yeah.
Is that the case as well with you, Beth? Because I know, especially with Wooden Overcoats, you lot were in the studio, and also I think recently, as the last year or two, you actually went on tour. You did like a whole special event where you got to see the audience react to like your voices. Is there a difference between that and being like, wow, this is so appreciative, and there's compared to in the room where you're like, oh, I have no idea if anyone's actually listening to what I do?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've always run live shows for Wooden Overcoats alongside the studio recordings, and that's been such a lovely thing. We started off doing them to sort of make a little bit of money back, but it became such a lovely way of bonding as a cast, and also being able to get some feedback in the room about how it was going. There's sort of nothing like a live response from the audience. And to be able to do that this year, we played the London Podcast Festival. We had a 10-year anniversary episode. The reaction in the room is incredible. There's nothing like it. But as Emma said, we were very lucky that we got to record these series in studio. Our directors were always very keen on that. And we got to bring some of our backgrounds from theatre into the space. We got to do some blocking. We got to do a little bit of rehearsing. And crucially, we had that interplay where we were able to listen to each other and be in the space together, which is just so much fun. And one of the most joyful things about recording Overcoats has been being able to have those relationships with actors in the room over years. And it is difficult when you go from that to being in a booth. I always prefer being able to read opposite people if possible, so that you get that relationship. And to bring in a lot of physicality from theatre, there's some things you can do, but some things that just don't communicate in the same way, that you kind of have to funnel into your voice. But at the same time, I think audio offers this intimacy that you don't really get anywhere else, because you're directly in somebody's head, and that's an enormous privilege and opportunity.
Yes, I love that, because it's interesting, but also you don't really fully get until later. You fully don't understand how big they are. I mean, because Wolf Roof right now, and Woolen Overcoats, amongst the other things, including the Strata, Victoriosity, Stefan Stellian, all like big audiences. But I imagine like those two are like the big ones, where it's like you probably still get responses from fans out there, be like, oh, you still watch it, or like newcomers. Beth, is that still the case where you all go from Beth, Emma to Felix?
Yeah, it's really lovely to see people still discovering the show. I think we hadn't done a live show for a few years, and to see people turning up who've obviously discovered the show relatively recently and love it is incredible. We do still hear from people. We do still get new fan art, and I suppose that's the joy of the internet, that it's out there for people to discover for always. But it's very moving. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, I was very lucky that I got to also be at the London Podcast Festival last year and see the Wooden Overcoats live show, because we did a panel, a 10-year anniversary panel for Wolf 359, and afterwards we stayed to like do autographs, and those of us who were there, we were like, oh, we'll probably have a couple people, and it was like, I don't know. I don't know how many people it was, but we were there for like an hour and a half. We were late to the Overcoat show because we were signing autographs, and it was just this overwhelming feeling of like, oh my God, this thing still means so much to so many people. And most of them, as you were saying, Beth, like most of them were people who had discovered it in the past couple of years, like long after the show ended. So it's really this beautiful thing. And I think, yeah, the fandoms for these shows are really, really special. But yeah, I still, it definitely still affects me. I still occasionally get messages or things from fans, and it always just warms my heart. It's a great privilege to have been part of something like that.
Felix, anything to add to that in terms of like, do people still like get the rudyard in you of like, like say the line, like, oh.
I don't get much say the line. I wish I did. That would be fun.
Say
the line, Felix.
Go on.
No.
No, I'm not going to make
now
you.
Look here. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You heard it here.
I don't know that we inspire that kind of audience. Maybe because we're a little bit more approachable, right? I think classically in the UK, if I think of say the line type people, I might think of like a Steve Coogan, who I think has spent a lot of his life having people shouting things at him. I saw an interview recently with a famous American actor comedian who was saying that, yeah, he gets a lot of people kind of quoting things at him. My experience of, certainly if I think back to Podfest in September, was certainly there's kind of like a group of people who are happy for us to have shown up and sort of be there as a focal point. But what's so lovely about these shows is seeing the level to which it brings people together. To the things like the live shows, the festivals, and so on, are an opportunity for people who like this genre that we've all found ourselves in, medium maybe, of podcast audio drama, to come together for an evening and hang out and then go off and do other things and have pizza and so on. I think that for me is so much of the joy is to be able to provide that space.
No, I love that because I think you're right. There is sort of like at least in Britishness, there is sort of like a tendency, like not to swarm you, to be like, oh, it's lovely to meet you, and then possibly once they each hear your voices, especially, I know he doesn't look like it, but I am excited if I did get you to say that look here, which is very lovely.
Yeah.
I imagine each of you had it, whereas like someone heard you talk, and they're like, wait a minute, like I know who you are.
I had a really funny experience one time when we were still making Wolf 359. We went as a cast. We went to Dragon Con in Atlanta here in the States. We were like nominated for an award there or something. And I remember we were having like a fan meetup at one point, and I was wearing my Minkowski shirt. And I was standing in line. We weren't at the meetup yet. I was standing in line like to get lunch or something. And I heard behind me, nice shirt. And I turned around and it was someone in Minkowski cosplay. And like, or whatever she imagined that was. But it was really funny because she didn't know who I was at first. And because I like demanded, I was like, we're getting a picture together. And she was like, who is this person? And then I think she realized as she heard my voice.
Wow.
That, oh my God.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite
I love
memories.
That.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move ourselves back to Shakespeare.
Yes.
One thing, especially Shakespeare, is the fact that not only has it been performed upteen tons of times, there's also been numerous adaptations of it, which I imagine from each of you, I'll start with Felix first, there's some favourites and non-favourites of like which play has been adapted the best.
Ooh, what a question. We were talking a little bit the other day about this. I tell you what, I've never seen it. I really want to see. There is a King Lear adaptation where Patrick Stewart is a Texas rancher called Lear, and I think it's from the year 2000, around about then.
I have not heard about this.
Yeah. I'm desperate to see it. Just before then, staying on Lear, I think the quotes adaptation that stuck with me the most was the RSC did a kind of semi-film version of the Ian Holm Lear that they did. So it was like, you'll watch it and you'll go, this is definitely a film, but it's also aesthetically clearly pulling from a play. And I remember being very struck by that. Yeah, it's not like it's a regular one on the TV circuit, but if you can seek that out, I thought it was wonderful at the time.
Beth, any particular favourite adaptation?
Ooh, so many. So I don't want to cover ground that other people are going to cover. Let me think. So the Trevor Nunn 12th Night, with Imogen Stubbs as Viola, has a fantastic ensemble cast, and I think really helped me kind of get to grips with 12th Night, and helped me to kind of get to grips with Shakespeare a little bit. It's just so clear. They do lovely stuff with the shipwreck and the twins at the beginning that you can kind of get on board with, and then it's just a feast of character actors. I really enjoy the Ian McKellen Richard III, which has fantastic music. I think it's set in the 20s. Again, the cast is to die for. It's pacey, and it's classy, and it's really good fun. I love Throne of Blood. So this is kind of coming quite a long way away from the text of Macbeth, but it is incredible. It's just the spirit, the atmosphere, the witches, or in this case, it's just this one guy who might be a witch. It's so spooky, and I think kind of recaptures that thing where you were first startled by the witches, and you see them so many times, and you think, how can I genuinely find them uncanny again? Throne of Blood does that, and it does so many things beautifully and mind-blowingly. I shall stop.
Love that. Emma?
I was gonna say Throne of Blood too, because I was just talking about that the other day too. It's really exceptional. I I always get jealous whenever I talk with Felix and Beth because they grew up in London and grew up in the UK and got to go see all these amazing productions. That, not to say that there aren't amazing productions in the US as well, but I've seen many that I love. And I was talking about this the other day. I got to see Patrick Stewart's Macbeth at BAM, which was fantastic. But I and we were also talking a lot about the Scottish play, but Sleep No More in New York that ran, which is sort of this deconstructed Macbeth, kind of immersive, devised theater piece in a site-specific place. Which was really, really, really fun. I also just, in terms of performances, I mean, I've talked about this a little bit before, but I've seen excerpts from Mark Rylance's Richard II, which I think was totally blew my mind as an actor. I already loved Shakespeare when I saw these, and I already had trained a lot, but seeing his Richard II that was one of those moments for me as an actor of like, oh my God, you can say these words that way? Whoa. So that was a pretty pivotal moment for me.
No, I respect that because, I mean, yeah, there is a sort of a jealousy. Like, if you're in the UK, you get to preview to a lot of these productions.
Yeah.
And I know this on the podcast, there is a love of Mark Rylance. I mean, in the sense of, like, I think you mentioned on the podcast before, like, not that you mentioned, but I was actually in the opening night of 12th Night with Mark Rylance and Stephen Fry. That was, like, my first love of show, which is, like,
wow.
I know, that's, like, a play that was like 10 years ago. I still remember to the day of their performance. Like, that's a notion of like, that's the best version of Dan. Like, God damn, I love it so much.
Yeah, it's exceptional. Yeah.
Yeah. That's when recently I saw the Tom Hiddleston do Much Ado About Nothing, which is ingrained in my head.
That's coming to New York in the fall, I believe, and I'm going to try to go see it. So
it's
excited.
It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. Okay, so I'll stop doing it now because that seems harsh. All right, so right, we got about 20 minutes left. Yeah, so let's have some fun in the sense that we're going to play a little bit of a game, not that long, because I have got some pre-thespians here who claim to know Shakespeare a little bit well, including ones who studied it. And what I thought I'd go through, in the very typical sense, is that we play name that. Where did that quote come from?
Okay, nice.
No.
Hamlet.
So they're not going to be. To be fair, just to go into the best right now, I'm not going to ask you who said it. I'm just going to ask you which play it's from.
Okay.
William Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll be that basic. Right? So
hotly debated. Yeah.
So I'll go through each one, and if you can, we can either do this one each, or do you want to just like sort of shout it out and name it? How do you want to do this?
Can we work as a team?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Confirm.
Bring the competition out of the way. Fine.
Oh, yeah. Let's work as a team.
I'll let you have it. So, okay, let's start off then with number one. No legacy is so rich as honesty.
Ooh,
that's good.
Iago talks about honesty a lot.
He does, but I don't think he said that.
No, I don't either, really.
But I could be wrong.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't think Iago says that. I don't think Iago says that.
Okay, let's go with Iago.
I don't think it is Iago.
I don't either.
I feel strongly that it's Iago. I think we all agree that
I don't need the name of the person, just the play. That's you don't
I don't.
Iago in Macbeth.
I don't think it is Othello. I think we'd know it.
I think we would, but
But we give up, right?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I love these options. I shout them out. They're great. But the answer is all's well that ends well.
Wow.
Awesome.
Oh, is it Angelo who says that?
It is Angelo who says it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, that makes sense now. See, if you tell me the play, I can make the context work. Yeah.
Okay. All right, next one. This above all, to thine own self be true.
Buzz.
Yeah, you got it.
F?
Hamlet.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
Polonius.
That's
Yeah.
Polonius.
Wow, you even got the name. No,
Yeah.
too much. I guess I should have said that also because the last 2 episodes you've been doing Hamlet, so that's been on your minds recently.
Also, like at UCL, there is an exam hall where that is emblazoned across the building, so that when you're doing your exam, you look up and see it.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't remember who said it, but like, haven't you ever seen the version of Hamlet where there's a happy ending?
No.
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 I've heard about
It's a
happy
very,
ending
very
Hamlet,
weird
so-
one where Horatio suddenly kills the kid and Hamlet sings and it's a very, very weird one. It's an American one, but it's absolutely like someone trying to make like all of Shakespeare happy. It doesn't fit at all, but it's
The
hilarious.
Victorians would do that. There's a whole lot of like
really?
Shakespeare rewrites
Yeah,
where they would
bowdlerization.
solve the problems of Shakespeare and
They make them happy.
finally give us the
King Lear and
plays as they were
Cordelia
intended to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go off into the sunset. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's a little bit like when someone tried to rewrite the Bible to exclude all alcohol in it because it was like the Prohibition days.
Oh wow.
And they just completely forgot about the fact that Jesus was a wine drinker.
Tricky.
Very short. Very short. Yeah.
All right, let's have some more. Okay, try to find the good ones here. I do desire we may be better strangers.
Oh, nice. What a put down.
Ooh. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh. It's not shrew, is it?
I love the idea, but no.
Yeah.
But it isn't. It is a comedy. I'll give you that.
It is a comedy.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe better strangers. I don't think it's Midsummer.
No, it's not that.
I don't think so.
Do we just? I mean, we can shout comedies.
Yeah. As you like it.
I'll give you the biggest hint possible.
Comedy of errors.
No,
What's the hint?
it's 4 words long.
A comedy of errors.
Much Ado About Nothing.
I didn't realize there were so many.
As you like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
As you like it. There we go.
Yeah.
The tragedy
Purely-
of Macbeth.
Yeah. Yes.
Uh,
Now I'm trying to think. Is that Jaques?
this one doesn't give me the name, but I think
It
you
doesn't
might be
give-
right there.
I can't. See, that's for me. When I hear it, I have to think about who would say this. Yeah.
No, I love that. Okay.
That's a good one.
You are not worth the dust which the rude wind blows in your face.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And I'll give you this as a tragedy.
I think I would like to confer, but I think this is Lear. Does anyone else think this is Lear?
That
I think this is David Bowie.
Hmm.
David
Oh, man.
Hang on.
Leslie.
I have to
Yeah, yeah.
I think this is in Rebel Rebel, isn't it? You're not worthy of the dust.
I think this is Lear. There are some terrible things that are said between Lear and his daughters, but actually, I'm not sure this is Lear. I think it might. I think it's said to Goneril or Regan, but I'm not sure if it is by Lear or by maybe like Albany in A Moment of Darkness, or it could be Lear. I don't know, but I do know it's Lear.
I'm
Stick
going with your instincts, Beth.
Okay.
You stick with your guns, you going there?
Yeah.
We feel strongly that it's Lear.
Yeah.
You're right, it's Lear. And you're right, it's between him and his daughters.
It is.
Right.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool, cool.
Yeah. Very nice.
I'm trying to find out ones that'll catch you out. They'll just be funny.
We have been caught
We've
out.
been caught out. Yeah.
No,
you
you've
did. You've
guessed
succeeded.
them right though. They've been good. Yeah.
I think to catch us out, you'd have to be like, to be or not to be. No, it's the other time that turns
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's a little bit like, oh, I give you somewhere. It's like, any old idiot could have said that. Why'd you do that quote?
Yes. It is very cold. Shakespeare,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although we'd know that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's do this one. What's mine is yours, and what is yours is mine.
Oh wow.
Oh, is this an Act 5? This has to be a wedding scene of some sort, right?
Could be.
It could be, couldn't it?
Could be.
What are some good
Okay,
weddings?
So yeah, no, but it doesn't have to be a good wedding though. It could be
Yeah.
it could be an awkward wedding. It could be a sort of tie up of a
Yeah.
problem play. kind of wedding. It could be.
Yeah.
Are you thinking shrew again?
That's the most problematic wedding.
Right? I mean, I could see this be a Catherine.
I mean, it's a comedy. I'll give you that.
It is a comedy. Okay.
What's mine is yours. What was the rest of it?
What's mine is yours, and what is yours is mine.
He really worked for the 10 syllables there, didn't he?
Yeah.
You do sort of learn a bit with Shakespeare. It's like, man, this guy overact. Well, I was like, yeah, that makes sense for him. Yeah.
Yep. I don't know.
Give up.
Should we go with shrew?
Yeah, why not?
Let's go. We're going with Taming of the Shrew.
I love it, but unfortunately, it's measure for measure.
Measure for measure.
Interesting, because
We
that has
need
a
to
really awkward.
brush up on measure for measure. Is what we're
Has a
learning
really
here.
awkward wedding tie-up, doesn't it?
It does. Yes.
Where
Yeah.
I think one of the couplets is "and measure still for measure." Yay, the name of the play, but I can't.
I
think how
think-
it would get from there.
I think we
from the
could have
line.
got that because it sounds
Right.
quite legalistic, and it's the lawyer play,
Right,
isn't it?
Yeah.
It
To
doesn't-
be
Yeah,
fair,
that's
there
the
are
thing.
a lot of weddings in Shakespeare. It's a lot.
That's true. It's
There
true.
are a lot of words in Shakespeare, Chris.
It's
I
a
think there are
lot.
too many
Too
words
many.
in Shakespeare, honestly.
Let's get some.
I'm in favour of cutting them down.
Yeah.
I've listened to the podcast quite a few times, and I love the fact where you've just gone like, you've read the line and you've just gone, pause. What does this mean? I don't know what he's trying to talk about here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Felix is
Yeah.
sorting it all out,
He
bit
is.
by bit,
and-
syllable by
yes,
syllable.
Yes.
I'll give you two more just to end it. Okay.
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 All right. Let's see if we can
This
redeem
one-
ourselves.
I'll be a little bit okay. Love sought is good, but given unsought better.
Okay, we've got to get this because this sounds really familiar.
Yep.
Love sought is good, but given unsought better.
Yes,
Love
oh
sought
God.
is good, but given unsought is better.
Oh God. I
How are you
know.
spelling sought?
SOUGHT.
GHT.
Regardless,
love-
it's as you like it, I think. Don't you think, guys?
I think it is. I think you're right.
Because I think that Rosalind is
Yes.
lecturing Phoebe, who is unfortunately in love with her because she
Yes.
believes her to be a man. And Phoebe has been spurning the shepherd who loves her, and Rosalind gives her a lecture, which I think is a speech I used to do for drama school auditions.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago. I got
think-
rid of it. It didn't really work for me.
You're right. I think you're right, Beth.
It would be embarrassing if I'm not after this
Yes.
large amount of
you've-
contextualizing.
But you've convinced me. You've convinced me.
Well, let's go with it, and the stakes are high,
They
Yeah.
are quite high.
which is where we like them to be.
Yeah.
Yes. Stakes are fantastically high because it's 12th night.
Darn it!
Ah,
Darn it!
Wait.
It's way
Darn
over.
it! Oh,
hand in your Shakespeare card, Beth.
that sucks.
All right, let's do.
Because I should know. I've freaking been in it.
Yeah.
to be fair, Beth. Everyone here studies Shakespeare. It's a lot. We're gonna
It's a
forget
lot.
So many
why.
words.
Yes. I no.
many
I
words.
similarly. Well, it was funny because I wasn't going to contradict you, but I was like, "Is this Celia to Rosalind?" Because I remember having worked on that. Like I remember that phrase being in something that I'm in, but I couldn't remember which. So there we go.
Darn it.
Okay.
I'm never going to recover from this, ever.
Oh, you'll be fine. You've done better. You're doing so good. We'll do the last one, then we'll go to the
Okay.
rapid fire questions to end it.
Okay.
And this one, well, this was personal to me because this is how really I was introduced to Shakespeare as a kid, but this is what it is. Okay, and it's a conversation. Villain, what hast thou done? That which thou cannot undo. Thou hast undone our mother? Villain, I have done thy mother.
Yes. This is a great one. Did you say we were in this, Chris, or you saw this?
This was, I wish I did this, but no, this was the first thing my English teacher said. If you want to love Shakespeare, this is how you learn it. Because I was in an all-boys school, so this is
Yeah.
clearly the way he was going to do it.
Nice. What a great way to get
But
people
wait,
interested.
sorry, walk me through that. What was
Yeah.
the method your English teacher was teaching to get
Yeah.
into it? Was it just listening to him quote random passages?
Well, first off, do you guys actually know what the play is?
Yes, I think we do. Although obviously,
Yeah.
given what just happened,
No,
I could be wrong.
No, I trust you, Beth.
I think this is Titus Andronicus.
I think so too. Yes.
Thank goodness.
You'd be right, my dear. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's gotta be
Titus.
Titus. Yeah. Okay.
No, to answer your question, Felix, when you're in an all-boys school in the 2000s and you want to try and entice them into the world of Shakespeare, what's the first thing you think of? Which is, I know, let's explain how Shakespeare did the first "your mum" joke.
Sure.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, because he also knew that there was no way I'm going to make these kids like Romeo and Juliet. They're not going to entice it.
But Titus?
I think we've come across another your mum joke at one point. This is ringing a bell. Did we come across something and we were like, is this a your mum? Is this just me? Do I just see your mum joke?
don't know.
I'm looking at your expression.
I don't think so. At least not on the show.
It rings a vague bell, but I can't place it.
Yeah.
There's enough to find there, but that's the one I know of.
I just see it everywhere.
It's very good.
But
It's
soft,
very
what
good,
light through
yeah.
yonder window breaks, it's your mum.
Wow.
I mean, you gotta love Shakespeare and his insults. They are sometimes the best ones, especially the Julius Caesar, like the Alchemist. I think, such top key. I love him so much between him and Brutus.
So good.
All right, guys, we've got about 10 minutes left of the show. Let's give you the rapid fire questions. These are the ones where it's like, I don't need like hard-hitting questions, but the ones where it's like, I want this as close to a definitive answer as I can.
Okay.
So I'll say the name, and so I'll go in order in terms of names, and then I'll ask you to. So let's just focus on Shakespeare right now. So from Felix, Emma, Beth, easiest passage of the play to work on.
I think actually the one that we did most recently, Macbeth 2:2, is so well known and also so sort of recognizable as a tight little horror passage. I think there's a reason people always trot that one out, because it's great.
Yeah. Emma?
Did you say easiest passage or
Easiest passage to have worked on so far.
to have worked on so far? Okay, yeah, I think I agree with Felix, but I'm trying to think of another one. Also, Much Ado, Beatrice Benedict. That's such a great little scene as well. Very different, but also really fun.
Beth?
Of the ones we've done, I think Richard III, when he confronts Anne, just the stakes are so high and the relationship's so clear.
Oh, such a good scene. Yeah.
All right, and now reverse order. The hardest passage to work on so far.
Ooh. Hamlet. In a way, it isn't hard, but there's just so much going on, you know?
Yeah.
It's hard to like only spend that much time with it, I think. Yes, I think just from a logistic point of view, the hardest one so far has been what's going to be our next episode, spoilers, which is Taming of the Shrew. That was a tricky recording session because of technical issues.
Oh, okay.
But in terms of like textual stuff, I think Hamlet is the hardest.
Felix?
Winter's Tale, I think, is going to be my pick, because The Winter's Tale is a baffling play.
It really is.
Begins as hard drama, and then a character called Time comes in and says, 18 years later. And then the second half is a comedy with the people who've been, like, burning each other. It's an extraordinary piece of work.
Yeah. It does make you think, like, William, what bit of acid were you on when you wrote this?
Yeah. He was just throwing stuff at the wall, see what stuck.
Okay, this one will just be more general. We'll do Emma, Felix, Beth.
Okay.
The toughest role you have ever played.
Ooh. That's really hard. The first thing that comes to mind is from an audio drama. Actually, it's from one called Young's Infinite City. I played a character named Rosalind Young, and that was a very hard one for me to wrap my head around. I had a hard time clicking with that. In Shakespeare, the hardest role that I think I've ever played was, I mean, hardest but also most fun, Richard III. Yeah.
Fair enough. Felix?
I remember in training, I had a bit of Constantine and the Seagull, and I didn't have an idea what I was doing with that one. It was, I had his scene where he's sort of losing the plot in the second half, and I didn't know why. I didn't know how to get into that headspace. I was only training, so I was a kind of young actor. I'm trying to think about, as a professional actor, things that maybe were very physical. Panto can be very tough for that, because Panto is very exacting, and you end up drenched in sweat at the end of the day. So that can be tough. Shakespeare-wise, like we said last episode, or a couple of episodes ago, I did the Fool in Lear, and Lear's Fool is very cryptic. It's when that episode comes out, you'll hear that we spend a lot of time trying to figure out exactly what he's saying.
I'll wait.
I'm gonna change mine real quick. It was actually, speaking of, as I mentioned earlier, it was Celia. I had to work on Celia in As You Like It, and I found that actually really, really hard.
Really?
Yeah. It for some reason I had a really hard time getting that character. Anyway.
Okay. Good to know. Beth?
Yeah, Shakespeare-wise, while I was training, I did Joan of Arc, Joan of Pucelle in Henry VI Part 1, and I so wanted to play that part. I just overthought it. It was just too much in my head. I would love to have another go at it, because it's a really fun part. And then last year, I understudied on a show called Giant in the West End, and I went on for the last 2 weeks, which was wonderful. But it's quite a strange, genuinely peculiar, in the sense of odd experience, to sort of go from understudying to actually being on with limited rehearsal. And I loved it, but it was unlike anything I've had to do before.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay. I like this idea of doing like normal than Shakespeare. So I'll add this next question. We'll do Felix, Beth, Emma. Favorite line or monologue you remember?
In non-Shakespeare and then Shakespeare?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Of all of all the work I've done, the first thing that is coming to head to my mind, years ago I was in a Lucozade advert that was themed around David and Goliath's, and it was David's flatmates, and I was one of his flatmates. We shot it in the desert in Spain, near Almeria, all kind of in flowy 0 BC kind of robes, but very modern delivery. And I said it so many times, and I heard it so many times, that I can always hear myself going, "Hey, David," as he came back into the hut that we lived.
I'm not sure that's a favourite line, but at least I'm glad you gave me one.
In Shakespeare, gosh, hello the spot. How lovely to be put on you. What a comfortable spot this is. I love it. I feel like the light is shining down on me, like the beginning of Mr. Bean.
Like the favourite line. I just wanted to do favourite lines. Let's go Jaques. Why not? Jaques is great. Let's go classic for the 7 Ages. Love the 7 Ages of Man.
Yeah.
Beth?
I don't know, so I'm going to go with Andrew Aguecheek. I was adored once. I played Andrew Aguecheek. I loved saying it. It's a perfect line.
Yes.
And outside Shakespeare, Antigone has this line in the first episode of Overcoats where she talks about making formaldehyde with a tiny a tiny dash of cinnamon, and it was on that second tiny that I thought, I know how to do this. It's a funny thing.
Yeah.
Love Emma.
We were also just talking about this the other day, but in non-Shakespeare, my favorite line is probably Masha from The Seagull. I am in mourning for my life. She's such an icon. And then in Shakespeare, I was just talking about this, but this just comes to mind. That Richard II speech that I saw Mark Rylance do that changed my life. In Richard's final monologue, in that he says, "I wasted time, and now doth time waste me."
Love that.
I'm very goth today. I'm going to be very...
Love it. Okay, we've got 5 minutes left, so I'll make these last 2 questions very quick.
Awesome.
So I'll do Beth, Emma, Felix. Beth, favorite podcast other than yours?
Easy. Wolf 359 always has been after the beginning.
Okay.
I love it. I listen to it every year. Emma is amazing in it. I'm done.
Playing to the heart, Emma.
I know. Oh my gosh. I mean, I feel like it is also.
You said wooden overcoat. I swear to God.
Yeah, I know. I feel like you're gonna be upset. Wooden overcoats is probably my favorite. It is probably my favorite audio drama. So
no, I love it too. It's so great.
But as an answer to a non-audio drama podcast, I love the show Spirits from friends of the show Julia Schaffini and Amanda McLaughlin. It inspired me to make the podcast that I made before this one, which is called Pairing. And they basically talk about different kind of like folklore and all sorts of fun stuff, and they drink spirits while they talk about them. So it's a fun show.
Felix?
Oh, it's got to be Chris Smith on Love to Beat Radio.
Yeah.
You. Pandas, people. Oh, love that. Thank you. Audio Alchemy, patronized by Felix Trench. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Last 2. Felix, Emma, Beth. Let's do the hard one. Favorite Shakespeare play.
I mean, I've been rapturing about As You Like It, so I'm gonna stick a line in the sand. Why not? Yeah.
Fair enough. As You Like It, Emma.
So I was saying the other day, this question is really hard, but if I have to answer, it's Macbeth. But I also do have a soft spot in my heart for Othello. So I cheated.
Beth, I'm going to guess what yours is, but I want to hear it anyway.
You're right, Chris. It's Hamlet, but second is King Lear. So, you get 2.
Yeah.
So there's a bonus.
And last one, this is just for fun, just to Emma alone, because I know you love both these people, and I know you love them so much. Whose work do you like more, the works of Shakespeare or the works of Gabriel Urbina?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, they've both been very pivotal in my life as an actor, so it's hard to say.
You know what? I'll leave it at that, because that's a tough one anyway.
There we go.
Well, what do I end it, guys? Beth, Emma, Felix, thank you so much for being on this show. You've been an absolute pleasure to chat Shakespeare and to talk live and everything. But it's been so good having you on the show.
Oh,
please,
thank you so much.
Please tell each and every one of you, how can they find you?
I'll go first. First of all, thank you so much, Chris. This has been an absolute pleasure. You can find me at The Great Dilemma on most social media, definitely Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, though I'm not really on there anymore. And I'm at emmashirjarko.com if you want to see my website.
Beth, where can they find you?
Yeah, generally at Beth Eyre across social media. Thank you so much for having us, Chris. It's been a blast.
A pleasure. Felix, sir, how can we find you?
Tesco's often a good bet. Going there after this to pick up some dinner. Sometimes I do Lidl. But I don't have a Lidl card. I've got a Tesco card. I'm at Felix Trench.
Love that.
Socials.
I'll point out, guys, remember, everyone out there listening, you can catch these 3 lovely people and more guests that you'll have on the way on Pods of the Fame, which is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, everywhere that you can. learn more about Shakespeare from these lovely people. They're so fantastic. And learn from me about voice actors on Audio Alchemy with Chris Smith every single week where I interview new people. Thank you so much for being on the show, guys. And it's been an absolute pleasure. I will see you all next time. Have fun, everyone. Bye.